I already know that unless something crazy happens, this idea will probably never come about, but there's always hope for the future. Guys, how's it going? My name is Noble, and welcome to the channel, or welcome back if you are a returning subscriber. I can never get that part of the intro right. The last few videos, I just haven't been able to say that correctly. I don't know why. But guys, today, we're on a little bit of a Star Wars: The Old Republic kick, even though there's nothing really going on in the game currently, but this has been a topic that I've kind of flirted with here and there. I even added a little bit of it into a previous video where I asked the question, would you play Star Wars: The Old Republic, a classic version, if one was to be released? So I thought this week, why not dive in a little bit deeper and talk about it in a bit more depth. So I hope that's something you guys are down for this week, because I don't have any other ideas right now, so deal with it. I don't have time for anything else, so get over it. We're doing this. Okay, so if we look at WoW Classic, there are a lot of people playing that particular version of that game, and it's amazing to see the kinds of things that have been done through WoW Classic. I'm pretty sure the last expansion that came out is gonna be it for WoW Classic. I may be wrong. I'm not super plugged into WoW, even though I play it on occasion, so don't get mad at me if I am coming at you with some wrong information there, but I'm pretty sure that's like the last thing that they're gonna do, because I don't know where like retail starts and classic ends in that particular game. But that has seen so much success among the harder core MMO population. A little bit of the older generation is liking that, and even some of the newer generation as well. And we can have the generation debate a little bit later on, but you can't deny the overwhelming success that WoW Classic has brought to the MMO space. It's not even a new MMO, it is literally just the first few years of WoW, and that is it. Now, what would this mean in terms of Star Wars: The Old Republic? You know, what do we consider SWTOR Classic? I think, in my opinion, let me know in the comment section, because I'd love to get your thoughts on this particular part. I think SWTOR Classic would obviously be from launch to either just after Shadow of Revan, like the launch of Shadow of Revan, or right after the Dread War. So right before 3.0, right after we get Dread Fortress and Dread Palace. After that is where WoW, or not WoW Classic, SWTOR Classic would then stop. Now, let me know if you think that if it should be split differently, but I think right after Oricon, right after, you know, Scum and Villainy, well, that's not right after, but like after all of that is a great place to call it for a classic version of Star Wars: The Old Republic. What would the benefits be of a SWTOR Classic? Well, you'd bring back, quite frankly, a lot of people. We have the infrastructure to bring that back. You can easily get players on board. You can bring back all of the old rewards and confine them to SWTOR Classic, but make everything grindable again. So like bring back Warzone commendations, bring back expertise, bring back hard mode flashpoints where it was actually hard, bring back roll queue where it's imperative that queuing up as a specific spec actually mattered in the outcome of the end game result. I think that would be really enticing for a lot of players, not just older players like myself, but new ones as well. I feel like Star Wars: The Old Republic right now is just something you can jump in no matter what skill set and just grind through semi-hard bosses in PvE. Now, you guys who have been a part of the channel for years know that I'm not as big of a PvE guy as PvP, but I did enjoy my time doing a lot of hardcore raiding back in the day, and I always enjoyed getting on every day to do the daily hard mode and the weekly hard mode flashpoint to get PvE commendations to increase my power level and get cool selective gear. There isn't really any of that going on in Star Wars: The Old Republic anymore, and I think it would be cool for the newer players who didn't get to experience the older content back when it was actually hard and engaging. You know, I think that would be fun for them to see, oh, this is what it actually was. Like back, you know, like hard mode Stormcaller fight from the Explosive Conflict. I totally messed up the name, but, or like hard mode Kefis, like all the way when Nightmare mode was considered Nightmare Mode. I think that would be something that the community could really get around and really rally behind, and it would honestly, I think, revitalize Star Wars The Old Republic, not just as a game, but as the space as a whole, being in that particular era. And I think another thing that would be cool is to have all of the Datacron locations and everything actually matter once again. They no longer mean anything now because we don't really go off of the different stats anymore. So collecting them is more so for completionists now and less out of some type of necessity. I think that would be a really cool way to get people back in and exploring the world. I think a lot of people would really be down for this type of thing and to bring back the OG leveling experience. You can level through the main quest line now, and I know that's how most MMOs are doing things to kind of appeal to the solo player, but this really isn't going to be designed for the solo player. I feel like there are two different camps, and you guys can roast me in the comments or get angry at me all you want, but I think there are solo players who just happen to play MMOs because they want some kind of multiplayer experience, and then you actually have the real MMO group players. Like, that's just how I feel about it. Like, I feel like the people who want to get in, get a group somehow, and do Aethys on hard mode, those are the MMO fans that would get a lot out of this. But I think solo players would be able to do that as well. I think it would kind of force them in a good way to meet new people, make friends, and enjoy the community a little bit more than had they done if they had played everything solo. So I would say the level cap for SWTOR Classic would have to be 55. I think 60 and beyond, you've really gone away from Classic Tour at that point, and I don't know if you could really include Shadow of Revan in Classic, because there was a lot of changes back then too. The skill tree was different and everything as well. So I think if we just take everything up until 3.0, we could get a lot. Now, what would that look like a little bit for content releases? They obviously would have to release things a little bit differently because it's just 2 expansions, or 1 expansion really, and outside of that, you would have to just give us a little bit of a similar content drip, which is what they're doing now. But I think a lot of people would be excited to play all of this stuff again back in its original glory. I think you'd have guilds coming back to do hard stuff and maybe have better rewards, maybe change up the gear, maybe have things exclusive to Tour Classic. I don't know. Now, I already want to transition because we're already basically 8 minutes into the video as of me recording. And how likely would this be? Truthfully, not likely. But if EA is the cash cow like whores that we know that they are, I don't see why you don't just add a few resources. If you're not gonna come out with new content for this game, at least give us the classic old stuff that you already have. Like, it's not like we're asking you to remake everything. You already have this stuff deep in your files somewhere, BioWare and EA. Like, it's not going to be hard to figure out. You could reintroduce the Dread Seed, micro binocular missions, and just, it would be so fun to do SWTOR Classic. Like, I would be playing that game every single day without fail. I would get on every day to run the flashpoints, to run the war zones, do the operations. But guys, let me know, what do you think of a Star Wars The Old Republic Classic? Would you play it? Would you subscribe? If they said you had to be subscribed to get access to SWTOR Classic, this would give you the subscription to, you know, the current game and then Classic with everything else mixed in. Would you say that that is worth $15 a month? I think it would be. Like, I think honestly it would be something that I'd be like, okay, 15 bucks to go back and, you know, have all the glory days back, which is something that I hate saying because I hate when people live in the past. But I think with MMOs, it's just a little bit different based on their nature and how they're made. So let me know, guys, what you think in the comment section down below. Would you like to see a SWTOR Classic? Would you play it? Or even if you wouldn't, tell me why in the comment section. Let's get a good dialogue going here. But guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. My name is Noble, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.